Hey, everybody, welcome to our inaugural broadcast of the Overwatch Open Division Korean playoffs. This is really exciting. I'm John, Kick Tripod Horseman, here with, man, some new guys. I don't get to hang out with you EU guys a whole lot. We're with Blank. So John, do we just call you John? Is that how we actually go? Is this an okay thing to talk about on the broadcast to start, by the way?
You can call me what you want, man. I'll answer to anything most of the time.
All right, fair enough.
In the middle.
I'm going to call you headphone firmware update for the rest of the broadcast. Yeah, it rolls right off the tongue. We've got an incredible best of 3 series coming up between WildCat and BlackShark Gaming. Before we get started, though, you'll notice we're on a little bit of a new channel this time for Korean Open Division, and that's on Broadcast.gg. Broadcast.gg is an amazing resource to help you grow as a broadcaster, whether you are a producer, analyst, host, caster, whatever. Get started. Follow the channel first, up there, one of those two things. Follow the channel. Make sure that you're following there. Follow us on Twitter, twitter.com/broadcast, DOTGG. And of course, down below, if you want to get involved, be a caster, be whatever you want to be in this life, because it's your life. Go ahead, click on the Discord link down below. Get in our Discord. We'll get you connected and ready to go. All right, let's talk about match number 1 here. WildCat versus BlackShark Gaming. Blank, this is the first little bit, right? We're coming into the semifinals, or not semis, the quarterfinals here. A lot of people are tuning into Open Division Korea for the first time. What do we need to know about, let's start with BlackShark Gaming.
So we're starting with BlackShark. I mean, first we'll just go straight into about Korean Open Division as well as what you're talking about. Korean to Open Division, it's highly revered. So is their contenders. It's very masterful, and on the same genre as masterful, you need to be masters to get into Open Division itself. So 3.5k and above. So there are no teams below that mark. So it's very heavy coming into your first match. Things are sorted out pretty quickly between who are the favorites to win very, very early on, and you're constantly driving yourself towards that last post. But we're talking about BlackShark Gaming here, and really this is a team that's been centered around the player Xavier, who was actually in Bond Spirit Gaming, a great team that made their way into contenders, but he kind of lost out and fell off the map a little bit of a while. We've not seen him around. Now he's come back in a big way now. This is where we want to see him lead the team forward, and we know he plays picks like Brigida, John, and Brigida is one of those players that plays very far forward with the Reinhardt, so I'd like to see some leadership mentality out from him.
Yeah, it's going to be really interesting to see how they sort of center their compositions around him. Very, very strong, as you say. Projectile a little bit more nowadays, can flex pretty much everywhere. So nice to see how they put that one together. And we believe at the same time on the flip side with WildCat that the player Muse, who is on the left-hand side, will be on, I think, one of the main tank roles for his team. Might also have changed his name from Saw, so he might be an old teammate of Xavier, so that could throw a spanner in the works. We'd have to double check on that information, because there's all sorts of link threads that you have to follow through for these things, but I'm pretty sure that they are the same person, so I'll be interested to see how that pans out.
So when we look at these two squads, you kind of mentioned both kind of your players to watch. For me, I'm really interested to see Half on WildCat, one of their support players, who I've been hearing is just kind of a jack of all trades on that support role, and just really dominant, kind of like a Jonak, except that frags on everything. So I'm really excited to see that, right? That's kind of high praise, right? But who are you guys most excited to see in this first match here, John?
Well, I think Blank, touched on it before, and I did as well. Xavier, one of those old school players from the Korean scene, who's been around for a while. Excited to see if he's still got it. If he's still got that magic. He played at quite a high level before. If he's going to be able to do so again. We haven't seen him, obviously, in the West, so on this English broadcast, we're able to bring that to you, and I'm excited to do so.
And on that same vein, John, going back to Xavier, we don't want to bang on about him too much, so we'll talk about the other players that were in his team of Bond Spirit Gaming, who've actually been pulled up from the upper echelons of Korea and Overwatch. Players like Alpha, Somin Su, and Slime, who are both on Runaway now, who actually took the grand finals for Korean contenders, which went all the way to 7. But this in itself means that he's played with very, very top tier players. He knows to work together in a team. But what the scary thing is, what John's been talking about, is how so far what we've heard from WildCat is that a lot of their players play lots of different roles into a high caliber, and especially on an open division team where you only have a certain amount of members. In this situation, I think they have 7. Being able to have a small roster that has a large hero pool allows you to play so many different compositions, whereas a team that's not practiced so many heroes, you might get caught out there by just expanding your composition range.
Fair enough. Well, we're about to get into map number 1, which is going to be Lijiang Tower. Before we do, though, it would not be a guest or a desk, sorry, with me on it if I didn't make you guys stick your neck out, pick a team, give me a score. John, who's walking away with the W today?
I'm gonna give it to WildCat. I'm gonna say WildCat. I think despite Xavier, you can't rely on that single linchpin. I think he's gonna have a good performance, but I'm thinking WildCat can take this one.
Blank, what about you?
I'm gonna go here with BlackShark Gaming, to be quite honest with you. I think sometimes in open division, having the lack of a coach is a really big thing. I'm not sure if BlackShark Gaming they're running with one at the moment, but even if they don't, Xavier as a leadership and a mentor role is going to provide something extra to these players. And I think that extra oomph in a region where reaction speeds and compositional switches on the fly and decision making is so strong, having that extra leadership might be the oof factor that they actually need to make it through.
Is that the new reality show coming to your TV station?
Yeah, totally. It's a oof factor, you know? You have that. I don't know. So maybe a Yorkshire thing. I don't know.
All right. Well, we have a split desk here today. We're pretty energetic here for the morning. Well, you guys are across the pond, so it's like what, like 6 o'clock where you guys? 4
o'clock.
Yeah, you guys are. I'm the one waking up early for this.
So,
yeah, jeez, I'm the one. Yeah, we're gonna be good. We're gonna jump into map 1, Lijiang Tower, after a short break. We are gonna be coming into the middle of the first round here is when our VOD starts. So just be aware of that. We didn't talk over part of the gameplay. Twitch chat, I see you guys complain about that all the time. It's not our fault this time, okay? A lot of times it is. This time it's not. Hashtag blame Blizz or something. I don't know. Let's go ahead, go sync up. We'll be right back in just a moment with map 1, Lijiang Tower.
Hello and welcome to the first game of the quarterfinals match. Set number 1, WildCat Gaming take on BlackShark Gaming. We're in sync, we're ready to go. Blank, how you feeling about this game so far? Oh, maybe interrupt you there as the EMP does come down onto point for WildCat. I didn't realize it was going to happen so fast. We are right into the middle of the game after all. But already, it's the Anup getting that heal blocked down, getting that Reinhardt taken out means that shielding completely gone. Haven opening up the point. White Snow and Owner just chiming on through. And the flick just about to come out. 85% on the point for BlackShark Gaming. They're going to continue to contest, but they get shunted away.
Finally, WildCat take it backward. And you know, John was saying that on the desk earlier, KT, saying we're coming in hot, and we really are. So here we are at 6% to 90%. BlackShark Gaming coming back into this one with before our ultimates, Deadeye, got the Graviton. These are all things that can comboed with, so it's up to WildCat with this heavy disruption composition to stop them from using these effectively.
Everyone has those tank ultimates available, and the Shatter goes down, only hits it onto Zarya, but the Biotic Grenade stopping plenty of healing. Sound Barrier to try and keep them alive, but they've already lost that Graviton Surge. It was thrown out from BlackShark. In comes the Deadeye as well, taking down the tank line. That's that Flame Strike finding the pick, and they are just going to keep rolling on through. BlackShark Gaming are managing to rack up the kills with a nano-boosted Brigitte in the sidelines. Owner is having a heyday, finally going down, and they seem to have held strong so far. But it might come down to a little bit of a rebuttal from BlackShark as they do move over onto the point now. WildCat, they're still contesting. There's the Graviton Surge for WildCat and the Reinhardt Hammer. It's good. They're going to see them off.
And that's them back onto the point here. All advantage was to BlackShark on this side, but now it's back over to WildCat. Haven looking to build up to this next EMP. He has to have it for this next fight, because this is potentially last fight territory, right, John? Like, we need big ultimates at this point. At the moment, WildCat, they don't have any. Xavier instead is going to have this rally to push his team onto the point, and with a lot of ultimates like Deadeye and Earth Shadow, which can be built up during a fight, this is what they're going to rely on.
Peppering from the back lines, Haven looking to build up that EMP, still not available, but in comes the Nanoboost onto the Reinhardt. He's trying to move forwards, but he's been heal blocked. They can try and take care of him in that circumstance, so they can push him back. You can see the rest of the game squad just moving on back. They're finding it difficult to find the opening. Folkbar last fight territory for both teams. The Shatter, it finds 2. The Biotic Grenade isn't going to keep them alive. Brigitte down onto the floor, and they're being zoned away into the corner. Counter Shatter coming out from BlackShark Gaming, but the EMP onto the back lines. Only Kostas gets found, and there's another Graviton Surge being popped out with the charge from the Reinhardt. That's going to be enough to find 2 picks. They're moving on forwards with that Zarya now. Subai charge. WildCat Gaming, they stake their claim to the first point. They're going to send those supports packing, and BSG, they're going to struggle to get back in. Only Lucio to contest, and he's going to be seen off as well. 99% overtime ticks away, and there we have it. WildCat take the first point.
Just not enough time available for BSG here. They had a tough time getting on the point. Xavier's there, he drops the rally down, and I'm pretty sure they intended to take the Earth Shatter from the beginning of that fight, because you saw Nicole was nowhere to be seen waiting on the sidelines with the Earth Shatter, hoping to have the rally just to keep the team nice and healthy, so they were kind of split on either side. So in this position, Muse has to decide which target he wants to fire strike, which target he wants to focus down upon. But after that, BlackShark Gaming not able to get the huge ultimates out like the Graviton and the Deadeye, and they just lose to WildCat as members of their team just die. So here, the story for BlackShark is their sustain needs to be better here. They need to remain on point a little bit longer. So far, that's been WildCat's strength.
Not to mention that nano-boosted Brigitte over onto Owner. That was a bit of a special one, but it seemed to work out pretty well for them. And moving forwards, trying to contest over towards that point, that wall. Actually rolling out on the Mei for Haven. Trying to counter out that 3-3 composition, trying to freeze everyone up. Try and pepper from the sidelines, but only that Mei on the, well, what could arguably be not even a DPS role. The wall providing that safety net and just trying to catch them as they move onto the point, but it's not going to be strong enough just yet. BlackShark Gaming, they move forwards, they find the picks they need, and they should be able to stake their claim to the first cap.
You see, I was talking about sustain being a problem here, and this way, WildCat has kind of given up on that front. The moment running with a team comp that's not able to put a huge amount of damage in, whereas BlackShark Gaming, they've revisited their compositions, and now they've got a huge amount of healing coming onto the team, using those battle grenades effectively. But there is the sleep. We're probably not going to see the charge afterwards. They can just keep them at bay for the time being, keep that percentage ticking up whilst Vapid moves up to this Graviton.
Ooh, Liana just dropping the friendly biotic grenade down, keeping them all nice and healthy, but there's the shatter. Oh, it didn't really find too much. He's going to charge, and the nano boosted Reinhardt to dueling. BlackShark Gaming, however, they have a little bit of the better end of it. 2 supports for the enemy team going down, but Haven's having a heyday. They've managed to get Graviton Surge down onto the point as well, and they're going to zone Vapid up towards that control room. They are finding these picks. They just move it on through after a brilliant set of picks from Haven.
Vapid is a dangerous target here, and White absolutely cannot go down with 100 charge on him as the Zarya. They need to keep him up here. He's going to be the key target, key compositional member here for this next fight. He can probably jump up to a Graviton here if he really puts the work in, but Stoney, he has the Deadeye. How will he use it? But Nicole going down early is really unfortunate.
Might not even need to use it there. The Blizzard just comes down, zones out both of those frontline tanks, and from there, it's pretty easy pickings, Blank.
Yeah, WildCat are holding on to this pretty well, and I was saying earlier on how I even not able to put the damage in, but so far those icicles been covered in blood so far. Not a great sight in this situation, but BlackShark, they're going to have to come back in, and they've smelt the blood in the icicles. Hopefully they can back this one a little bit stronger here with the rally on top.
Frozen water, bearing blood right now, as you say, but there's the rally. Looking to try and move forwards. In comes the Deadeye from Stoney. Looking to try and zone them out, but the wall just completely denies it. The Boetic grenade taking down Nicole on that Reinhardt means that they just have to reset yet again. The rally on the defense, and that will keep them nice and armored up.
And more importantly, their frontline member, the Reinhardt, no longer has the extra armor on top of him, whereas WildCat, they're holding on to all of this. They've got 4 ultimates here, the nano boost being the important one. But in this situation, Muse is still going to win out regardless of the nano boost.
Shatter goes down, lands onto 2. Reinhardt caught up in the Graviton Surge, but the counter surge is there. They've managed to find the opening pick onto Haven as well as Owner, and they're going to start to roll on towards the point. 75% already built up for WildCat, but they're under threat now. They have been moved forwards, but the Biotic Grenade stopping Nicole from getting that healing. Both Reinhardts just popping those shields up, trying to keep themselves safe, but Muse can't do so. Slowly moving around the flank, and they zone them off the point with 86%.
86% available, like you say, means it can be another recontest should WildCat take this one back. But with so many ultimates pushed down and the ending of that fight being so staggered, it's available that BlackShark Gaming have been able to get up to some more of their ultimates here. They're looking pretty good on their ult bank for this next fight. The decision really is how they use them in this next moment, and it's where I was talking about the leadership from Xavier and calling the correct ultimates at the right time. But Nicole, he falls to the floor.
That's not how you want to start a fight with no ultimates on the table. Half now has his nano boost up and ready to go. He can pop that on whoever he wants to throw it on in. And it's going to go out. There's the Graviton Surge as well in response. And the Deadeye gets zoned away again. Not to worry, though. He's going to drop on down. And Haven has already fallen as well. Half now under threat at the back line. The headshot from Stoney. It's good.
Not even the freeze. The frozen waste can stop the Wild West in this situation. Vapid is just moving forward. Has 100 charge and a lovely block onto that Earth Shatter. Nicole, like the ninja, just edging around the corner, and that means no Earth Shatter in this next fight for WildCat regardless. This Blizzard has got to be huge.
He's going to come in, the Shatter, though, stops Muse dead in their tracks. And there's the Graviton Surge coming out, and it's comboed with the Blizzard. Everybody frozen up, and everybody going to be clapped down. It's only going to be a matter of time before they fall out, but Reinhardt manages to stay alive. Gets the Flame Strike, going to turn it over onto White Snow as well. And there we go, Costas now trying to contest it, pushing them back towards their spawn. It's only the Lucio, 99% as overtime is ticking away. The Tracer into the fray. The counter Graviton Surge on the defense for BlackShark Gaming. They're trying to put a toe onto the point, but they just can't make it happen. BlackShark
even tie it up. They tie it up here. BlackShark Gaming, though, the big crucial moment within that fight was Xavier popping the rally during the Blizzard before he went off, before he was frozen up there, which just gave the rest of his team, regardless of the Lucio and the Brigitte went down, a lot of sustain was lost, but they gained 100 armor. And on top of that, Nicole was able to sustain through that other fight, able to remove the other Reinhardt from the point and then continue forward. Now we're going to see WildCat running this Pharah Mercy with the Tracer. So Tracer's going to be bumping up on top of those direct hits. And they're running with the Lucio as well as for the speed boost. It's probably going to get switched off, I would imagine, but it might stay just for Gardens.
Might even just roll them out of spawn and go back, but no, they are going to move out with both Lucios, both sides. Xavier on that Sombra, something I'm quite interested to see how that pans out, if he can keep that pressure onto the back lines. So what's that pharmacy in the sky for WildCat? Of course, it is even, so they do need to make sure if they can take this map, then they do take the first game. It's a great way to start your series. Seems like Stoney, though, under pressure from Tracer. Just trying to get those 180 spins, but not going the way. Already, though, White Snow has been demeched. BlackShark Gaming state their claim.
Yeah, they're still on it. Haven in the sky. He's looking for that consistent damage, but when the rest of his team is falling around him, it's pretty difficult. The Winston's got to get the hell out of dodge there before he goes down, but Ona goes down afterwards.
That heal buffer from the nano boost is going to keep him alive just for now. He's going to stay up, but he does go down in the end to Haven. Looks like WildCat aren't going to let this point go without a fight, and already taking down the main tank. That's a pretty good way to start it out. Self-destruct sequence already built up and sent away for Vapid. Has the remake available, but it's cancelled by Haven. And there we go. They are Muse just still trying to hold onto the point, but Haven is doing the damage from above. Only one kill so far, and it gets rezzed up. And WildCat take the first cap.
That was 0-0 for such a long time, and here's where the Pharah Mercy comp absolutely thrives in action, is just remaining on the point with high mobility heroes like D.Va and Winston to back them up. The consistent damage at some point is going to thwart BlackShark Gaming as they only have the EMP and it's unleashed now.
It's already set up. It hasn't managed to find the Pharah or the Mercy, so they still have that threat from the skies. The barrage is available. It will get thrown out. Has already taken down the Ana, so no sleep to cancel it. Gets away with it as well, but one kill already for Primal Rage and a second for the headshot on Stoney. The reses are so strong right now for Costas, and they are just keeping their troops nice and healthy. They're pressuring forwards, but it seems like BlackShark Gaming, they maybe have misplaced this EMP, Blank.
The problem is they went straight onto Muse here, and then maybe an overinvestment. Finally, Stoney comes back in with a triple, looking for the quadra here. Does he get it? Yeah, he does. He cleans this one up, and now immediately Haven's coming back in. Wants to stall the point after a little bit longer, but the main thing here to watch out for is the Deadeye, and the next fight can pop Haven and Kostos out the sky, so this means they're going to pump up even more.
They're still contesting it though, Blank. They've still got that Winston on the point. They're ticking up that percentage the whole time. Up to 63% now, the Biotic Grenades, and Lucio's back in for a second contest on this time around, but finally the tick goes through.
That's just froggy offensive right there. BlackShark Gaming, though, they've got some ultimates to contend with. The self-destruct from WildCat can easily be a zoning tool to get Haven into position to get that barrage out on the point where it is so effective because she can use the sight lines around the right side in White Room. But Stoney here, you can see him desperately looking for this Deadeye opportunity. So it will be Nicole backing him up.
Well, they're giving up a lot of ground towards the point at this stage. Stoney, though, is completely flanked out, taken down with a Primal Rage leap and a fist as well to boot. There's the stick onto the Divid mech, but isn't going to quite finish it off just yet. Self-destruct sequence still available, but the EMP is going to be sent out for the BlackShark Gaming squad, and they are going to start to get those kills on the tanks. Means that front line all the more in danger, but Costas again has the res cancel away this time. Doesn't manage to find it, but Haven is still live and kicking, has that barrage as well in the back pocket. Nicole trying their best to try and get back onto the stage, and the boot comes through. This WildCat Gaming squad, they are certainly channeling the ferocity of their namesake.
What a great move from Half there in the last second for Haven. As we know now, Kostos is only doing 50 HPS on that healing orb, on the healing link there, whereas the Winston now does 60 damage per second, so it will out-heal that. So Half had to get into position almost immediately to keep Half up there.
Ooh, Ona trying to get the pick off, and actually White Snow sends out the self-destruct sequence early into the fight. 90% remember, Blank, so this is last fight now for BlackShark Gaming. The first map is on the line. Deadeye is popped to try and gain some ground, but
there's nothing available.
Someone needs to move forward. Someone needs to touch the point. They finally managed to make it happen, but Haven is ready, awaiting into the jaws of death. Sally's Nicole straight over into that rocket barrage. They're trying to cross the bridge. They still have that contest on, but overtime is ticking away. Mini D.Va is there. The Mercy trying to go for that frontline res, manages to get away with it. That's not the sort of thing you want to let happen, but Mercy does go down nonetheless, and over onto the bridge. That's going to be Haven. So crucial into this hold, and again, they're finding the picks, Blank. They are making it work, and this Mini D.Va should be last to fall as overtime ticks down.
And that all came from 2 fights ago when the target acquisition was so perfect onto Stoney in the backline. They moved him out, they moved him around the point, then the Primal Rage was popped, and Ona was there with the backup on the Tracer, taking down Stoney. They knew that Deadeye would be forcing the barrage out early, so they're able to keep it for the second contest, which takes the Winston out as soon as he gets on the point. No more main tank. That's pretty much it over for you as BSG.
Very, very nice. But to help us break that down, we're going to have Kicked Tripod come back and join us. What did you make of that? You, as excited as I was, because I mean my prediction's coming true at this stage.
Yeah, you're 1-0 for one map, so kudos, well done. Yeah, that's 50-50. Flip the coin. You got it, sir. Nice job. I mean, man, there's a lot to talk about here and a lot to break down. One thing I want to hear your guys' thoughts on are some of the compositions that we're seeing right now. I know with some of the matches later, we're expecting to be really goats heavy. But especially on this one, not that we didn't see some different formulations, but we're seeing some different compositions here, Black.
Yeah, we really are. It's almost strange to see May here, but a lot of the quick decision makings are working around the comps, but they're going forward. It's especially hard to move compositions on the fly and control, because once you lose the first fight, you almost have to stick on this composition for ult's sake, and it gets worse and worse as the percentage progresses. So changing early is the big thing. And I think a lot of these teams are very confident in their own compositions, so they stay on them. And Control Center is a big one for this. They lose. WildCat loses out the first fight with Haven on the May, and they come back into them. BSG is just able to claw it back from them afterwards. But both teams, they're not here to party. They're down to business right now.
Yeah, and just to touch on the May as well, the reason you put May into a composition is really to try and zone away those tanks. Because if you can get behind that Reinhardt shield and freeze it down against a 3-3 composition, like the GOATS composition that we've seen time and time again, you can just put so much disruption and gain so much ult charge just from having that there. So maybe they overread into what they thought BlackShark Gaming was going to do.
Yeah, definitely makes sense. I mean, so as we go through and look at this first map, though, I would love to know from you, John, who's standing out right now? Who's the player that's really standing out for you?
I have to say Haven. I have to give it to the Pharah over on that final map, the Gardens. So crucial in every single fight, making sure those barrages always well placed, only getting a couple of picks with them, but that's not really what matters. When you get the right targets, that's what you're after. The rest of the team can clean up the scraps once that's laid bare. And the bold pick on the May, I got to respect it as well.
Yeah, that's definitely fair. What about you, Blake? I mean, is there someone there standing out for you that's like they're really kind of holding this down and giving WildCat the edge right now?
I think Muse definitely, he speaks a lot of words for his team in his play style, where he's so very far forward, but in the same way, he plays defensively and he plays for his team, which is an essential quality for a main tank. And like I was saying towards the end of Gardens there, Haven position perfect, comes around the backside onto White, stays out of sights lines and reach of Stony. But you know who allowed him to do that and enabled him even more? It's Muse, always in that front line, putting the pressure where it needs to be, and he understands when he needs to get back out as well. As there were multiple fights there where he fought to the bitter end, but regardless, his team backs him up through that. The nano boost comes onto him as the Winston is still up. Even if he does die in that situation, he's gained positional advantage for his team, and they move forward off that.
I'm disappointed in both of you. I got to be honest. You didn't bring up half there. You had a huge first map, almost 18,000 healing as Ana. Kept them alive through, honestly, that there's two different points where they were grabbed on, where Muse stayed alive thanks to half there. So, yes, okay, fine, you're right, and you're way smarter at this than I am. But, man, I'm all about, I've been watching half now for that first whole map, and I was told, watch half. I'm just really impressed with the play. We don't get to talk about supports enough here, but we are going into Watchpoint Gibraltar next. So, you know what? I'm going to bow out because I am not intellectually adequate to go any further here. Once the gameplay starts, I have to go like, go hide my
John doing here? Like,
take my nerd notes. Gotta go take my nerd notes. I'll see you guys later. Bye.
All right, good luck with those nerd notes, my friend. All right, over onto Watchpoint Gibraltar, WildCat Gaming and BlackShark Gaming. WildCat, they have the map advantage. I'm feeling pretty good about my prediction right now, Blank. So how are you feeling about yours? Do you think BlackShark Gaming, they're going to come back into this one?
I mean, yeah, a dog has his day, now and again. But BlackShark Gaming, they're coming back. I think they're going to come back in a big way here. You got Stony. He is a large hit scan presence at the moment, and especially on Gibraltar, where so much of it is determined by how well you can control those vertical high grounds and have those sightlines available. these are all really important factors. Now, BlackShark Gaming, they're playing at the moment, from what I can see on their comp before they change it off on something completely different, as most teams do these days. This is a pretty classic just disruption dive. But what we will take a look at here, John, is WildCat.
Yeah, they are at the moment. They still have that May hovered, but no, they are just going to swap it out. Wasn't expecting that to stick around for too long. Triple support though coming out for WildCat at the moment with the owner on that Widow.
A lot of times the Korean region is dominated by divey tanks because they believe in the skill and that they have it and it is there to make those dive happen. So having Haven and Brigitte is a great safety net for Owner at least, but it puts a lot of pressure on Owner, whereas Xavier can back Stony up. If he finds a body shot quickly, you can capitalize on that with a dash into it with a quick shuriken afterwards.
Need to be pretty quick though. Certainly going to try and make it work. BlackShark Gaming, they haven't found too much resistance around this first corner. Said WildCat, they're just taking the forward fight a little bit and then just backing off. They're trying to build out their ult to charge bank and have a little bit of strength moving into this contest, because over this bridge, it's a lot easier to make you stand.
This blue box high ground is so highly coveted by both teams. It's very difficult for the attackers to take, but once they have it, they have great sight lines onto Owner here if Stony can get up there, which means he can find the pick whenever. At the moment, Owner's very safe there. Once blue box is taken, it becomes a lot harder, but now the sleep is engaged, not quite quick enough, and Xavier goes down.
Already losing their Genji. They cannot capitalize on those body shots like you were talking about, and with White Snow finding the second pick over onto that Winston, it should be all but done there for the BlackShark Gaming squad.
Owner really doesn't get an invitation to the party until he gets underneath bridge or they take this high ground. In the moment, Owner very happy to just stay up there at the moment and just sit back, have some of the accoutrements in the time being. But BGS Stony, he has to put in a lot of work here. He will have the infrasight first, but it doesn't matter. They know where they're located. The big thing here is going to be the Nano Blade.
See if they can get that combo up. 65% on the Nano boost available, 73 on the Blade. Two components coming together. Make pretty good shots for Owner, just getting a clean, close crop on that haircut. And there we go, the Genji looking for that backline. Look at the pressure forwards, but already the Winston's moving out, and there's the headshot we were looking for. Stony able to come out on top of the Widow duel for now, but the rest of his team, they're not so lucky.
Did you hear the ding, 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 ding? It's like they're in a casino there and they just won gold. There we go, Muse finds Stony there. There's nowhere for him to go, and with a new added cooldown onto that grappling hook, he's pretty much a sitting duck there. Nice shot onto Owner there, but like I said, his real job and his mission isn't until later on if he needs to pop the Genji out the air. But now we have this Nano Blade available. Haven immediately popping the rally, knows it's coming. It's 1 minute 37 now. It has to be here, has to be ready. But Xavier's got to be very wary of him. That shield bash is going to put a real wrench in the works.
Well, there we go. They're already coming out. All of the ults starting to be thrown in, and this is the start they wanted. Minyok finding that first pick onto Owner on the back lines, but that's cancelled out. Like you were talking about, the shield bash comes up big. The Nano Blade completely negated. The Winston trying his best to move forwards and get those picks, but it's just a little bit, not quite enough. The self-destruct sequence, however, is going to be thrown in, not finding too many as well, and they are just going to go back to that cart, that payload. 1 minute left on the clock flank.
Yeah, and basically, BlackShark, they've thrown everything into this, and they got nothing out of that. And it's all down to Haven there. Perfect planning, perfect execution. Just really well played. He placed himself next to Half and Kostos, just negating anything that Xavier wanted to do to get onto that back line. Blue Moon desperately trying to get up to his next Nano Boost so he can apply it to Minyox when it does come up to you just in the background. Muse now in a pretty tough scenario, just about to get out there.
Receive that heal link.
Yeah. Xavier, you can tell though, John, he's just really trying to get this next Dragon Blade as soon as possible.
Yeah, look at how far forward he is. He's just trying to get those shurikens down. And there we go. In they go. Minyok finding that backline. The Nano Boost layered down on top of it. They need to build up this Dragon Blade if they want to have a chance. And with Owner falling, they might just have the opening they're looking for. He's still just trying to move around on the point. Xavier can't quite find it, but eventually he's going to get up there. But is it going to be too late? The res goes through onto Owner. They have those sightlines back in their control. And Haven finds the bash onto Minyok. And that's going to throw a real spanner in the works. With the res coming down, though, might be able to move forwards yet again. Dragon Blade coming through, but he misses the Swift Strike onto Owner. turns his attention instead onto the Mercy. That self-destruct sequence canceled it out. Xavier's having the worst of luck with these Dragon Blades. And there we go. It's going to be a brutal pushback coming out from the WildCat squad.
The blade was just too long. He got caught on the edge there, and he wasn't able to make his way over and just falls sadly to the floor. Haven, another rally, doesn't even need it. His team is already rallied together as they make a full hold here on point 1.
Watch point Gibraltar. They are doing great things right now. WildCat coming up big in this game. BlackShark Gaming, though, they're leaving a little bit to be desired. Both Dragon Blades that came out from Xavier denied. Every single time he tried to find that opening, there was someone down his throat and stopping him from doing what he wanted to do.
Yeah, Muse constantly moving the back line, adjusting attention for BlackShark Gaming. They're having to split a lot of their resources, and this is a problem, especially for Blue Moon playing the Ana, because she can only heal one target at a time. As you'll see him now switch off into probably something different as they come on through, just because of the way that Muse has been playing around that caveat, so to speak. Haven now onto the Genji. Xavier on the other side plays the Brigitte.
Oh well, see how the roles reversed go on that matchup. Triple support being hovered by BlackShark Gaming again on this defense seems to be the way to go. Stoney, I wouldn't be too surprised to see that Widow rounding out this composition. Might opt for something else though. Maybe looking. No, he's just going to go back to basics.
John. I think you're right.
I should be more confident in my predictions. You know, just like my prediction about WildCat, by the way.
Yeah, of course. I mean, a dog might have a couple of days as well. I don't know. But BlackShark Gaming, they're having a tough time of it. Xavier, I think this idea that a lot of Genjis have is that you need to get in there and you need to find the pick onto Haven early or the Brigitte early. Once you remove that obstacle, things become a lot easier. Obviously, the Dragon Blade only 120 damage, and then with the 50% boost from the Ana, you're doing about 180 per slice. It's still not enough to cut straight through a Brigitte, even with the slash afterwards. So you need help from the other team. And a lot of the time, BlackShark Gaming's front line is preoccupied with Muse or White Snow, who's just been playing absolutely phenomenally.
Haven out the gates very, very early on. Just getting that translocator down underneath the bridge. Sombra so crucial to this composition. They're looking to find those openings. You can see Ona swapping over onto that Brigitte because they just want to go in and go for those brawls. And if that EMP can land, that's going to be so brutal for the BlackShark squad.
Completely right there, John. Again, once again, Blue Box is the place to be held down. Stoney in a bit more of an aggressive position than Ona was. A lot of time Ona going down first, quickly trying to find their way into this small room.
Here's that rolling ball that they just want to get started, and it seems like they're going to be gathering no moss down this mountain. They are going to be pushing that payload around the corner, up the ramp, and already with those 2 picks, it's going to be real difficult to mount this hold. They're so close to the end already. They're around in that corner with Mignot going down. The main tank's out. There's the Mercy trying to keep Brigitte alive, but it is just insane. Not enough. Mercy going down, and it's only Demon to contest, gets hacked out. The teammate comes through. They're pushing that payload. They're rolling it down, and there's WildCat taking the second map of the series.
That was terrifying as they used a Lucio speed boost to move around the corner. D.Va has nowhere else to go. It's a relatively safe position in small room with Mini, but pretty much after that situation, they just force her inside there, and then afterwards it's just a shooting gallery. And without the D.Va Matrix, things become so much easier as you have to contest the point as the main tank, and getting swung into by a Reinhardt, you know what, that's not fun. That's not the party or the party tricks that anyone ordered.
No, it's certainly not what you want to find in your goodie bag going home either. It's real difficult to cope with that. That'd be quite traumatic. I think.
Yeah, it would be actually. I think I'd be.
You open your bag and it's I'm a done.
I got a very angry German man. Yeah, can't say I ever found that in my goodie bag as I went home from any of the play gyms as a child. But you know, what can you do? What can you do?
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you what we can do. Is bring Kick Tripod in, because I'm sure he's got some words to talk about to break us down on that. So Kick Tripod, thoughts? How are your nerd notes going?
What are you guys talking about right now? Like, why am I like totally lost in your conversation? I'm like listening for, you know, some sort of Overwatch conversation. We're just talking about goodie bags and whatever else. So we are. We're halfway.
That's why we've got your nerd notes, dude. That's why we've got the York notes. Come on, bring them out.
So here's the notes that I took. 2 lefts and a right to get to the bathroom in the apartment. But
Nice.
besides that, let's talk a little bit about this map. It was a quick one, so we've probably gonna have a quick halftime here. 1-0. We're up 2-0 WildCat at halftime. Right now, it's pretty clear BSG on the heels a little bit here, Blank. Where are they falling short, in your opinion?
I mentioned it during the cast. I mean, I think the main thing at the moment is the split attention. They're really struggling with how to deal with Muse and his movements. See, a lot of times he is so far in the back line, and they're having to engage a lot of resources. A lot of time the Barret grenade comes out very early just to deal with him, and then he gets back out again into the warm embrace of Mercy, Zenyatta, and the Brigitte here, who drops the
How much is Muse paying you, by the way?
a lot of money. You know what? I've got a goodie bag with an angry German in it. That's what
half of those map wins. Or is it like 25 of those Blizzard bucks?
25 Blizzard bucks. You know, that's a pretty good deal. But that on top of the goodie bag, I think I've scored myself a winner here. But if you do need to talk about someone else, I think we got to talk about Haven, right? Kick Turkland.
Yeah, I mean, tell me about Haven. What stood out for me or for you for him? I mean, he was he's kind of all over the place on DPS right now.
He's pretty crazy. He's pretty crazy as Haven. He's playing the Brigitte now as well as on the first point here on the big hold. It's pretty impressive to see his positioning because as a Brigitte, you know, in the beginning you kind of shield bash, like surf around. You just slam your shield on the floor with the 4-second cooldown. And you just roam around the map about 1,000 miles per hour. Now with the new increased cooldown, it's a little bit more hard to get into position. You have to save those crucial moments. So knowing where you need to be and reading the ultimate charge and knowing when the Genji blade coming out, that's extremely impressive to me. A lot of times teams have been able to circumvent this. We see it. We saw it in the grand finals of Korean, and we've seen it in Busan's games as well as for contenders where an extremely important player in Korean, at least we'll talk about Somin Su. He's always in position to catch the Genjis at the right time. And in this situation, Haven's mimicking that perfectly, if not better than a lot of times we see it almost try to be panned out. He was in position to stop the Nano Blade, and Muse is always there to kind of like almost chunk down on the amount of ultimate charge they get per fight.
So, John, you're in. Let's say you're in the locker room, halftime. You're with BSG. You're down 2-0.
Just a correction on that. In Europe, we don't have locker. We have changing rooms. It's much more civilized.
Yeah, but there's lockers in the changing rooms. You don't just change there. Sometimes you need to just chat. Sometimes you just need to go to the bathroom. You don't necessarily. Okay. There's always lockers there. You can have football, whatever. I don't care. But locker rooms is universal, and it's going to stay universal on this broadcast. You're in the locker room. You're down 2-0.
Get in there, John.
Right.
What do you need to change going into the second half?
I think the next map, as we'll see in a minute, is Temple of Anubis. So I think that's going to play a little bit better into how they've been playing. So maybe just go, back to that 3-3 composition. Try and get that Wrecking Ball through onto the first point. Maybe even actually bring out the actual Wrecking Ball and move it on forward. Something that, we haven't seen today so far has been that Doomfist, which has seen a lot of attention recently, especially over in the World Cup, in various different formats and tournaments going on. It's been so prevalent. Maybe a little bit more towards the stalling end, and when you need to have that last-ditch momentum to try and find something, Doomfist can have that impact, but it's something that I like to see played maybe a little bit more. So maybe BSG, they might want to think about flexing over onto that. I think the Sombra, however, is a really good call for them, especially here on Anubis.
What I love about what you said, and something that I wanted to bring up, is the fact that I think that BSG can still pull out some map wins here. I don't know if they can win the whole thing with how it is, but with the ability to change their compositions and adapt, we've noticed WildCat kind of struggle a little bit in adjusting to those. So if we can continue to see more of those adjustments, and maybe more drastic ones, like you said, Wrecking Ball, Doomfist, we're going into 2CP here, so you know that you're going to be looking to stall out these points. Wrecking Ball and Doomfist can be really great in being able to do that. That might be enough, at least in this map, to give them the advantage. Will it be enough for the whole match? I don't know. But at least for Temple of Anubis, I'm looking at this and I go, you know what? I'm not sold on a 3-0 yet, Blank.
Well, no. To be honest with you, there are a lot of good qualities that BSG have been showing. It's surprising that the Shark is losing out to the WildCat. Normally, Wildcats, they would not win against a Shark. It's far too far out in the water for them. But in this situation,
you could throw a Shark, I guess. You could throw a Shark at high speed, and it would work.
I think that's actually a Despicable Me plot, by the way. Just throwing sharks. Yeah.
Nice.
Really?
Yeah. So really, at the moment, what BSG need, they need a little bit of magic. They need a bit of pizzazz here. The main thing I'm seeing is that Stony plays McCree a lot, right? Which is an all-rounder. The all-rounder champion. You have Widowmaker, who controls sightlines on that long-range reach, has the infra sight, can allow the team to play around that infra sight a lot of times. McCree does pretty much both of what Hanzo and Widow does, which is bust tanks and control sightlines. The main thing I'm not seeing from BSG at the moment is the Doomfist that works alongside the McCree to provide that huge amount of DPS burst. I think it'd be extremely beneficial for BSG versus WildCat at the moment, when WildCat are playing such this death bally composition. If you have that burst to just completely negate them coming in with the flashbang headshot combos, with the rocket fist, and with the uppercuts, I think these little minor changes is what BSG needs.
So going into Temple of Anubis here, you were the one to say, Blank, that BSG, you thought that they were going to actually walk away with the win here. They're down 2-0. Do you want to chicken out here and change your prediction? Do you want to take the coward's way out, or are you going to stay strong to it and justify it?
I'm sticking here. It's hit 17. I'm guaranteeing that the next card
17.
I've hit 17.
No.
The next card is going to be a 4. I feel it. We're going to hit that 21 here. BSG
double downing on 12 is what you're doing. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm doing right now.
Oh no.
The dealer is here, and he's looking pretty menacing in the form of WildCat. But I think the BSG can deal out a great map here on Anubis.
All right, fair enough. Well, my nerd notes are gone. I have no more nerd notes for you guys. We're jumping into Temple of Anubis here. I'm going to bow out, take better notes for the end of the match, map 3. But go ahead, you two. Take it away. Temple of Anubis. Here we go.
Well, there we go. Thank you very much, Kick Tripod. That was very informative nerd notes. I quite enjoyed them, Blank. I don't know about you, but yeah.
Not bad. We had a couple of very cool discussions there. We got away from the angry Joe that keeps coming out of my goodie bags now and again, and we put him aside, whacked him in the bin, and now we're coming straight into Temple of Anubis, or Nubis, as KT like to say. It's a bit of a map like. Oh, he's still here.
He's still here.
I can hear you.
Oh my God.
Who said that?
We're not like in a different studio here. I'm right here in the Discord call.
I thought he was out of the room, guys. Oh no!
Don't listen to him. We're in a physical location somewhere off the map.
I'm in the green room. Yep.
It's a highly secret physical
having
location.
my Pellegrino sparkling water and nice meat and cheese tray.
Yeah, you know what?
Oh man,
we'll
share.
I'm actually a bit jealous now. Where's my green room?
That's why I host and I don't cast, because then I can just leave and come back whenever I want.
That
sounds great.
That is true. Anyway.
Should we just go, Blank, and go and get meat and cheese?
Let's just go to green room. Get some meat and cheese.
I'm just going to go to green room.
Scandy cheeses. See you later, dude. I'll take this. I'll take this time being. You go enjoy yourself.
All right, you go.
WildCat. Here we go. Let's take a look at the defensive composition. They got white snow. They got white snow here on the Diva. We've got the Orisa on Muse on the high ground. This is definitely going to be one of these places where they might play the Perch here, the Birdhouse. I don't know. They've not run anything to get up there like the Symmetra or the May, or I might have missed it because Monsieur KT came in and was talking about those sweet meat and cheeses. BlackShark Gaming, they're running something extremely aggressive, which says to me they want to win this one quickly, gain the ult advantage, and move that into second point. Haven, if he... Oh, that's a big pick.
It's at the start. They can res it back up. It's just Widowmaker. You know, you're going to find those headshots. It's going to happen. The rest does come through onto Ona, however, so they can remount.
But
stay strong for now.
This means the next headshot, the next critical kill that BG Stony finds in this next fight is going to be huge, because they will be to res it up.
Right, but they need to find those headshots to start it off, and you see Stony a little bit zoned away. Ona seems to have a little bit of an advantage. Nicole subbing back in again for Minyuk. is going to be back onto the roster for BlackShark Gaming as well. Stony just holding down that mini health pack, and Nicole spots out a tank on the other side and thinks, oh, do you know what? I'm just going to drop down and take a fight with the other tank. Let's go into the back lines. Let's find out Zenyatta, but D.Va zoning Nicole away. Already finds the first pick. Owner gets the headshot, and those are those brutal kills that you need when you're on the defense for WildCat.
There's so much hesitation to bite from the Sharks here. Stony, sure, he's finding those picks, but like you're saying, if they don't find them quick enough, the res is going to come off cooldown. In this situation, Owner can pretty much just walk himself way on back to the point, and Haven now has the Riptide. BlackShark Gaming, they're playing with this Mercy, so they're going to res it up again, but Blue Moon looking for the Nano Blade. Riptide early use, though, they will be able to hold on to the Nano Blade, and there'll be no Riptide to deal with.
Going to look for the pick with that Riptide. Who are they going to find? It's Nicole. No main tank, no push.
And now, Xavier, Blue Moon, going to be able to find themselves into quick positional advantage as there's no infrasight either. They used that alongside the Riptide to find some key targets. They only found the tank which got rezzed up, but it all rests upon Xavier.
They have got that Dragon Blade available, as you say, and they've already managed to take down the Supercharger. The trap dismantled as well as Orisa falls back to the main hut, but there's yet to be picks for BlackShark Gaming. They still have that self-destruct sequence for WildCat as well.
Valkyrie.
Transcendence to keep them alive, and in comes the Valkyrie to try and zone it out. That Winston Shield dismantled immediately. He's taken very low as well. Has to put Primal Rage to stay alive. Will pressure out the supports now as well. Xavier has that Dragon Blade close quarters, not where you want to find yourself as a Mercy, but the Transcendence is there, and the Dragon Blade's still in the back pocket. Xavier needs to find the opening, but is shut down by Muse. Cannot go for that, but already they managed to find the Mercy. They're moving forward. They're trying to hold up onto this point as the self-destruct sequence sent out for BlackShark there. Not going to find anything. It was dropped down by the Mini, and they still have this Junkrat just doing so much damage with those grenades from the sidelines. They haven't been able to push on through, and they're just trading back and forth, Black.
This was... Oh, what? Why now?
Oh,
so
dear.
Confused.
Just
there is
after the
so
double
much
kill.
confusion here. I feel like Psyduck. I'm grabbing my head. So many stars like whirling around right now. For what I understand, the way this fight pans out is that they knock the nano boost onto the Winston. They think they can win the fight off that. It doesn't pan out in their favor, so they invest the Valkyrie as well as. When you invest the Valkyrie, you're pretty much all in at that point. And Xavier thinks it's all won because Nicole's also popped the Primal Rage. In this situation, he wants to hold on to the Dragon Blade for second point after this. They win this one. But because he hesitated, they lose the point and lose 3 ultimates. And sorry, Stony, you're not camouflaged.
No, unfortunately not. It is going to get found out by that Riptide. They might need to res that one up. Does have the infra sights available, but those headshots all the more potent now from Owner. Has his own infra sights as well to combat it. Xavier doesn't have that Dragon Blade. They need to find this push forwards with this nano boost. The Valkyrie is available, and that's the start you want. Xavier opens it up onto Owner as well as the nano boosted Winston finding the backline. Both heal blocked. Haven the only one to find the kill so far, but the rest of his team has just been zoned away. And there we go. The WildCat's defense just completely demolished here. It's going to be a good opening. Or, well, a little bit too late, but they are going to find the opening nonetheless for BSG.
Finally, pushing on through, and Blue Moon there as the nano of the group, shaking her head. I have to put in 2 bio grenades there to basically help us win that one out. You better be thankful. Also knocked the nano boost onto Nicole, which pretty much opened that one up. So a lot rid on Blue Moon for that fight. Now Xavier's got to really pump up here, and I was touting him in the beginning, but so far I've not been seeing too much fantastic performance from this guy so far. Neither from the Brigitte or the Genji. So if it's time to pick something up, it's time to pick it up now.
BSG starting to mount their offensive. They have got that Primal Rage. Blue Moon swapping over on to the Zenyatta now instead of that Ana. So no more nano boost coming out. They're just going to invest that Primal Rage into the back lines. Nicole moving forward does get shield bashed up, but they are going to find the pick already with that Riptide. Haven able to dismantle one of the main DPS sources for BSG. Finds a second as well, and they're going to be sent packing away.
Yep, Haven in a great position at the moment now, can just force the bombs out from the front side, able to get those mayhem grenades down, get the salvos going, get up that next Riptide. Xavier, however, coming up to a Dragon Blade, but instead they butcher their own ult comedy in favor of a slightly better composition to work with here. Haven, obviously, he's seen what's going on here, so he's off to switch Owner onto the Junkrat and Farah in the sky. This is going to absolutely demolish this free comp, but it depends how quickly Haven and Owner can find their ultis.
Rolling it around. Are they going to be at the speed of sound? Nicole moving it out on towards the point. They're already, Haven, starting to do the dismantling work onto this 3-3 composition. Owner's there. And you were asking if they were going to find those shots. And quite frankly, I think that question's been answered, Blank. Reinhardt, though, still going to go forwards, just completely demolished and sent back to spawn.
Because of how quickly that fight was ended, how clean it was, I'd assume that Blue Moon has stopped healing during that fight and Delight switches over to healing aura instead. They actually don't get too much ultimate charge on the Junkrat or the Pharah. You can see that, I mean, like 52% and 44, that's quite a lot of charge, but in the sakes of Junkrats and Pharah, it's not a huge amount. Quickly, another switch comes out, and this quick reaction to composition is what will win you games, especially in open division, where you can't just keep headbanging against a wall with the same composition again and again. And with 1 minute 30 on the clock, these little changes are what's important.
Those little changes might be the difference between holding and losing this point. Stony trying to find those headshots on the Widowmaker, but as yet to find one. That can all change on a dime, though. So quick to find those headshots on the Widowmaker.
Stony, he's been huge sometimes and then a little bit quiet others. But when he does open his mouth, he is very loud indeed.
Just has to get it open for now. Biotic Grenade not quite finding too much. And again, they're just posturing at the moment. Sleep Dart not connecting. They're just being peppered from the side as well, building up that ult charge for pretty much everyone in this game so far. Nicole trying to move forward, has that heal link now. Combating with both of the tanks down in the gutter for the WildCat squad. Stony on a big flank, looking for those sideline headshots, but in comes the Dragon Blade for Haven on the defense. They're looking to slice straight on through this offensive,
Nice.
but the Biotic Grenade from Blue Moon, so crucial on this Ana, as you said before, Blank, going to continue to do so. BSG, they're moving forwards. They have 35 seconds left on the clock, so they have to make it work here and now. The rally comes out for Xavier to push them forwards. Haven swapping over onto the Doomfist, trying to have that last-minute impact that we were talking about as well. Haven trying to stretch it out, but Nicole, he's still going onto that mini diva. They're holding strong on the point. Xavier just keeping everybody alive on this Brigitte. Cannot go through, it seems. And there we go. They're just going to keep on going. Haven still trying to find those picks in the sideline, but that Tesla cannon, it's doing the work. The Wrecking Ball rolling out as well on the defense. They are really in this last-ditch attempt right now. The time is ticking away. 1 second left. Almost down to overtime, and it's starting to go through, but they are still strong onto this point. They're moving it forwards. The Winston trying to get there, but again, Blue Moon finds a kill with that Biotic Grenade. The charge comes out, and that's the Winston to fall. Muse can't do too much. The Wrecking Ball last to stay standing, and Xavier gets that nano boost as well. They are just starting to clean up these kills, and that is going to be pretty much the cap. But are they going to be able to contest? It's a little bit too little too late as the cap comes out, one to contest, and they're just staggering so hard right now. Overtime's going. It doesn't matter. They get the cap.
And they're pretty happy with the overtime, though. This ensures that, at best, it won't be the BlackShark Gaming getting a second attempt. Now it's WildCat's turn to attack here. But that all came off the back of a lovely res mid-fight onto Haven, onto Xavier, sorry. Oh, it was Haven on the Brigitte, bringing him back up again, making sure that he's able to get that rally off mid-fight and able to store that last 30 seconds into overtime rather than giving it over and potentially allowing BlackShark Gaming to go at this one again. Now, WildCats, they have a turn to attack here, and BlackShark Gaming, a lot of the questions fall on them, and they've got to have answers in this instance.
This is what we were talking about earlier, though, Blank. They did manage to get both of those caps on Temple of Anubis, which is, if you don't get that steamrolly fight on the first contest on that second point, can be pretty tricky. But they managed to make it happen. And Temple of Anubis, the map where we said they might have a shout in it as well, specifically. So, you know, they aren't all done and dusted just yet. They are down to that 0 second timer. It's all going to be on WildCat to see if they can do it before that overtime comes through.
A lot of times, the way this works is that coming into the second point, you really need to have an ult advantage to quickly clear lots of members so that when the spawn comes out, it's not staggered. Because the defender's advantage is so strong, Temple Anubis point B, you're able to just come out of the spawn, onto point, out of the spawn, onto point over and over, and you see things like that happen a lot. So really WildCat, they need something huge, which is why they'll probably run with a Nano Blade here, I would assume, to quickly take targets off the point. And with the D.Va Winston, this is heavy target acquisition, quick damage onto one single target and removing them from the fight.
Defense Matrix keeping Owner safe for the initial Widow duel, but Stony isn't going to take it, unfortunately. Well, or maybe fortunately, as the case may be. A little bit of a further back hold, as we've seen before, for the BlackShark Gaming deep. WildCat just starts around the corner. They're looking for that high ground as well. Genji on the cards, so they can contest out Stony in more ways than one. They've got plenty of mobility to do so. They've got those Widow sightlines.
So far, Stony doing a lot of work, 60% already up to his infra sight, showing us that he has hit a lot of those shots so far. Owner, almost half of that.
Ooh.
But you know what? He is the owner of this fight indeed.
The Widow duel certainly going his way. Brigitte and Anna both on the high ground for BlackShark Gaming's defense. And Owner can't quite access them, not quite in his sight lines. They're moving it forwards, and with Muse going down, our front line really fallen, and it's unresable as well. So WildCat here, they just have to back off.
Yeah, Muse, a really important target, not only for the 25 Blizz bucks that he's paying me and the goodie bag that I'm walking away with, but as that main tank member, he is massively important keeping these targets alive. But here he comes back up as the Hamsace, not quite able to pull something very cool off, and Mission Impossible really is Mission Impossible.
Yeah, certainly going to be zoned away there. Owner finding the first headshot onto Blue Moon, but the rest of his team not being so lucky. Haven got that Dragon Blade out. Is going to find one, looking for the second, but Brigitte just gets away for now, but the headshot comes through for White Snow to close it down. Haven wreaking havoc with the Swift Strike straight onto Nicole as well. They're going to be able to contest this point, and